Hello there. Happy New Year's Eve, ladies and gentlemen. Yours truly, CLJ, doing a year in review of this unprecedented year of the second decade of the 2000s. Where to begin? Let's start with each of the months of 2020. And strap yourself in, folks. It's going to be a wild, long, bumpy ride. And ready, set, action. The month of January was pretty much me gearing up and prepping for 2020 to come. Nothing special, just my usual 1 month. The first month of the year had many plans of accomplishing more goals. 'Cause last year I got my GED and all that, and stuff like that. And I was going to focus on getting me like a new car, used one, like a 2008, like a Japanese brand, a model. And also getting my, going to travel passport so I can go travel outside of America, and then late January, getting my taxes and taking care of them. And the month of February was waiting for my refund of a good amount, minus the amount I had to take out of getting them done. Once again, just another February 2020, nothing else out in the ordinary. Believe it or not, I actually got my refund check early, but I didn't find out due to being at I was a host at Longhorn Steakhouse before all this, and before then, I had to move to a different part of area. Of my previous 9 to 5, I was a courtesy clerk at a grocery store for 4 years, and it was going strong. It was good, had its ups and downs, but it paid well. It paid for me to go to both Orlando, Florida, and it paid for me to go to New York City in 2019. The month of March, my birthday month, I did a little happy birthday outing. I made a vlog about it, and I posted it all over my social media accounts. And I went to Olive Garden. I got the steak gorgonzola salad with the mozzarella sticks and breadsticks. It was delicious, and also my last time ever going to a restaurant in person due to what's to come literally 10 days later. March 14th, the first wave of the COVID pandemic where everything brick and mortar but Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, Sam's Club, grocery store, and fast food shut it down. Got laid off and absolutely knew that this was the beginning of a history in the making. The month of April, due to every restaurant, bar, sporting event, clubhouse, farmhouse, whorehouse, outhouse, back house were closed indefinitely, except for the mega chains of corporations. So I decided to set my fate, dash all my plans, and stay home, social distancing, live on a prayer, and I had my refund to live off of. And then with the first stimulus check of 1,200, I got in early April. And other than that, I went heavy into video games because I was a homebody, OCD germaphobe before it was cool. So this was really nothing for me. It was like being a 12-year-old again during summer vacation. The month of May was still empty shelves and big corporate chain stores all across America and much more free time and no plans to do anything due to this COVID pandemic. I dusted off my PlayStation 3 and started to take on my video game backlog because I do have a big backlog of games I haven't even played, but I bought like years ago. So I began to make CLJ home vlogs of me cooking, creating, being critical on news, politics, pop culture, showing my video games and doing like a movie reviews and showcase. I grew in good numbers during this COVID pandemic on my YouTube channel. Times I did go outside, go to the store, I wore a mask, I social distance, I, had hand sanitizer, I cleaned everything every time I brought, when I got back home and I took them out of the bags, boxes and packages, and I wiped them clean. And I still do to this day. The month of June, pretty much the same as April and May. Made more CLJ vlogs, finishing my PS3 backlog and gaming my PlayStation 4 from time to time. And I decided to do further marketing and promoting of my original designs and characters and stories, calling them CLJ Oats meaning original arts and tales. Also polishing up my the Steampunks of Tinselheim non-graphic novel book that I was selling, a couple last year, and I made a sequel plus the book of, and plus I also made like a sketchbook of it, of the Cast of the Steampunks. Even more virtual due to COVID, I did begin to miss physical interactions with people and going out, but then I learned to forsake myself and my pleasures and think of others who's hurting, unemployed, and dying up from this COVID pandemic. The month of July in my area, stores, restaurants began to reopen, but first at 25% capacity, and then it went to 50% capacity. Longhorn Steakhouse gave me a ring, and I respectfully declined. I wasn't making money as a host before COVID, let alone now, and jeopardized my health for 50% less. No, I continued in my stay home. I still had money. I really did. I had a pretty big nest egg, and I never regretted this decision. I knew it would get worse than previously, and to the beaches and bars and other restaurants reopening. And then that's where all the carelessness and outright disregard of this COVID pandemic and the spikes and with those riots and protests began to rise, and they never cease. The month of August, like July, more of the general public began to disregard, not care for stay home, social distancing, wear masks, not washing their hands. In my state, it was full on mandatory, but unfortunately, other states differ. So more cases rise to this COVID due to them now complaining of stolen freedoms and government dictation. Pretty much, they're all spoiled, ignorant of the first world problems. Oddly enough, cooking at home saved me a lot more money than going to a restaurant. $40 can last me 2 weeks and more, while $40 can last me 1 hour at a restaurant. The month of September was actually a case of COVID numbers going into a decline in my area, and big corporate chain store shelves not empty anymore. They had the toilet paper, they had the paper towels, they had the disinfectant, they had the hand sanitizer, and they had the wipes. Personally, I think they were outside sources, careless and consider first world problems. People from other states who took part in those riots and burning cities ran by Democrats, by Antifas, and Black Lives Matter dubbed as protests in the NFL season not being canceled, spreading the COVID in my state due to the state, due to their state lax restrictions. Because there's a couple of states there that don't even care if you wear a mask or not. That's unbelievable. So once again, another COVID spike, and this whole thing is not a time for vacation, social gathering. Treat this as a war and your soldiers. So last time I checked, soldiers doesn't have lap of luxuries while in combat. The month of October, same as before, but due to the up and coming presidential election, those rallies, mostly of Trump's like the Antifas, gave no care to this COVID pandemic and continuing to keep the COVID spikes up. I was for Halloween being canceled. I really was. I said they should just cancel Halloween because because it's gonna be a spike. Or I called this months ago. My idea, if people listen, it would to improvise, do a trick or treat in the house. Explain to your children why and how it's canceled. I mean, do people really want to keep this COVID alive? I guess they do. The month of November, election day, and what a cluster F bomb that was, and still rendered its ugly head now, like Hydra. On the last day of 2020, my thoughts. I think that Trump was cheated out of it. It was pretty much vote for Biden or vote against Trump. Still, those missing ballots are the fault of the Democrats and some Republicans, because there's many Republicans that hates Trump. I mean, let's be real here. Okay, this is a bipartisan effort to get him out, period. But to be fair, Trump's mouth, no care this COVID, endangering his own family and staff of the Republican, his buffoonish ignorance of the insane madman of the first debate and canceling the second debate like a spoiled crybaby, also cost him his second term. God doesn't like the proud, the foolish, and the boastful. And God had to remove Trump and place Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. And then Thanksgiving, another COVID spike due to travelers and the millions, going to their little home parties and all that, because why not? I mean, the month of December ended on a terrible note due to the arrogance and ignorance of the general public, with first world problems and stingy, insane, no bipartisanship, incompetent politicians. Pick your poison, as I've been saying this whole year. Who after 9 months now decides to give out the second round of stimulus checks, which is half as before. Yeah, 600. I know this is a catch-22, better than nothing, but come on now. Meanwhile, the rest of the world who took care of their citizens, yes, they have. Do research, ladies and gentlemen. It's on social media. You'll be, you'll spit at the ground of this country when you find out how the rest of the world took care of their people. COVID's still here and bigger than, badder than before. Yes, this was created in China in a lab, personally as a biological warfare. But Americans made it worse by not social distancing, still not washing your hands. That's just, how nasty is that, really, people? You don't wash your hands, why? Not wearing masks, all these indoor, outdoor, activities, professional games. Again, I would have canceled the NFL. Who needs them anyway? Having some restaurants at 75% capacity. I found out about this a couple of months ago. Not treating this as a war and not being grateful for what you already have. Why they're closing and costing more people jobs and careers and businesses. Now, to be fair, Trump was not totally blamed for all this. Nobody knew this was going to be what it is. Me, I thought it would be over with by spring. Because, the H&N1 with Obama, and I think W. Bush had one, and I believe Clinton had one. I believe the first Bush, and, so on and so on. Nobody thought it was going to be like this. No. Nobody thought it. Was it political? Well, was it political size? Absolutely, 100% it was. Was it intentional? I think it was. And me, I'm still COVID negative. People took the test and everything. Why? Because people like myself who knew how to take sacrifices, be respectful, take responsibilities, and adapt to a much bigger picture and scenario. 2021 will be no different because most didn't learn anything from this lesson. This was a lesson. It really was. This was a lesson. It was a lesson, and personally, I say we failed. We failed this. It could have been a lot better, but for first world problems. There you go. Again, other countries, they were doing a lot better, and then this second strand of super COVID or something is now taking over. And but meanwhile, China is not. China, nobody's saying anything about China. How you gonna? Come on now, really? It started in China. It began in China. Like everything is made in China in this country. And yes, we do need a vaccine, but we also need a vaccine to restore businesses and jobs. That's not Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, Sam's Club, any other big, corporate chain, because those ones who are being taken care of, all these billionaires, millionaires, they are kissing the ground that this happened. How many of them got super wealthy with all this? Again, research, people, research. Fortunately, because in my area, 95% are actually corporations, mega chains, and all that. And those who are small mom and pop brick and mortars, they're dead, people. They're gone. Even several of those corporations are starting to go bye-bye. And this is where I will end this. And all I can say, attain peace of mind, do meditation, edify yourself, look yourself in the mirror every morning, at night, and say, you are somebody. This COVID is here, but it's not, but the COVID is not going to take me away. I'm going to do better than before. I'm going to make sure that, even in the storms, I'm going to show some light. Because we can only help ourselves. We really can. The world is a different battlefield. We need to fight the battle within. And then others can see the light. It's all about the light, people. And with this COVID is darkness. Corporations are darkness. Politicians are darkness. And they also reveal their true colors through all this. Let's be real here. Personally, I would say the next time, 2024, nobody should vote, period. Everybody should stay home after all this. So yeah, and well, another thing to add, don't forget what happened in 2020. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. I don't care if you're male, female. I don't care if you're religious. Don't forget what these politicians did and what they didn't do and what they cared and how much they didn't care for you. Definitely, definitely make 2021 accountable to all of them. And find yourself and adapt to this new normal, because we're not going back to how it used to be in the first 3 months of 2020 ever again. I'll probably give it maybe 2 3 more years, and then yes, it's something else. But yeah, just take it one day at a time. Next, tomorrow, and see that works. If it doesn't, I'm your guy. I'll be here. Lift your spirits up, lift you up, and you know, be there for you. And take it easy and be safe out there. Be responsible, and let's count your blessings and be thankful for what you have, and hold these politicians accountable. If I mean, for personally, I really had hope that maybe this will change. I took this as a 9/11. Maybe our politicians can, because we had each other backs back in 9/11. Let's be real here. But then with this, everybody they said, well, no, we don't care. We just want to make more money, and then we're going to be stingy and greedy with it. People getting tossed out, evicted, and that's unbelievable. I mean, God did not made us to be this way. No. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go end this, but and hope that you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed my year in review of 2020, and take it easy and take care of yourselves, and peace. Be at peace with yourself. Love yourself and others, and be happy with what you have. Until tomorrow, this is yours truly signing off. CLJ wishes you all a very lovely, happy, awesome, wonderful, peaceful, blessed, excellent, happy new year 2021. Later and bye bye.